What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Kind of want to thank you guys. I'm pretty sure if you clicked on this video, you've probably seen that I built my first video game. Um, Before I get into that, I kind of want to give you guys a little bit of background. Last 2 years, career changed a few times, and trying to figure out where I was going with everything. I'm not getting too much detail into it, but I decided I wanted to create video games and start learning programming and game design. So I started, dabbling with different programming languages, like beginner stuff, a few online courses here and there, different mess around with different game engines, build kind of like mess around a little bit, nothing full flesh and actual full game, just mess around, see how they run, do a few tutorials in there for cool, a few cool things, and then last October, I hosted my first game night. I'll put it up on the screen, so you'll see me go back between here and some other clips here and there. I hosted a game night. I did a whole retro thing and modern video games, 2 game stations, decorated the whole house, had friends come over, sleep over. We had food and everything. And leading up to that game night, I kind of did a kind of a story D&D riddle kind of experience for everyone virtually, leading up and hyping up the game night. And I kind of had a full story where there's like this game master, and these people are invited to go to the game night and have to figure out where it was and solve a riddle, find the location. And once they find the location, the story unfolded where all these villains are after the game night or after the virtual world, and these characters have to come up with characters and character sheets and went through this whole adventure. It was really cool, really fun. We couldn't fully go through the whole experience because of time, and I wanted to host a second one. They loved the first one and everything. I was like, well, I want this to be better and bigger. They had a lot of fun. Like, what more can I do? I was like, let me program some kind of like maybe you know a word-based adventure, with multiple choice, multiple endings here and there. Because I was learning some C++, and I was like, okay, there's some basic stuff I can do. It's pretty easy. It's just kind of organizing everything and come up with a story and how to make it fun. Kind of start dabbling with game design and game development, just something word based, nothing crazy, some small little project, and get some practice hours in. And then I was like, when I started doing some research, I ran into this thing called GB Studio or Game Boy Studio. And Game Boy Studio essentially is a game engine just for Game Boy, and you're stuck within the limitations of actually like Game Boy and Game Boy Color. Essentially, they started adding Game Boy Color features just for the color, but I kind of kept it within Game Boy. And then I was like, this is perfect. Like, I could actually build a game. It has some basic scripting, things I kind of went into, just learning mathematical equations, how to plug them in, using variables and all that stuff. I was like, let me practice building a game. I listened to a lot of different game podcasts, learn about game design. Some things fly over my head. I don't even understand. I was like, let me just jump into this thing. So I really wanted to kind of simulate like the actual experience of building a game, like go through deadlines, timeline, have a due date and everything. I kind of really wanted to experience that because a lot of game developers who are experienced on YouTube and different podcasts talk about, you got to really push yourself to act like that instead of just putting it, I'll get to it when I get to it, or just do it here free for all kind of thing. I was like, okay, cool. Let me book the date for the game night, and I had about 2 months. And I was like, cool. I got to figure out the story, figure out the gameplay, the puzzles, the flow of everything, and figure out the art. Because I did use some of the stuff that were provided by people online on itch.io, and I was like, I kind of want to customize it a little bit. So I did some of the art, and I was like, I'm spending too much time on this. So then I was like, well, let me hire someone else. Let me get some help. I don't want to spend too much time on this. So I went on Fiverr, found someone. I was like, hey, can you help me out? They said, cool, perfect. Let me finish up whatever you have left. So they did it. Cool. As I'm designing the game, I'm going through the process. Okay, I need a story, I need gameplay, and I need some, different type of, just a reason for the players to keep going other than just combat, here's hack and slash. I was like, well, let me make an action adventure RPG. As I started going with it, I was like, well, I don't have a lot of time to add the RPG elements into the game, so I took that out. I was like, there's no way I have enough time to do it because I started breaking things down. I had to come up with the story, combat system, and the actual riddles and puzzles. So, because I kind of wanted to add the riddles and puzzles because my friends and I are really into escape rooms, and based off of the last game night with the D&D adventure and Just knowing how they kind of like puzzles and riddles. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me add that element into the game because I know what they like. Let me add that in there, and I could spend more time and flesh that out versus kind of rush myself and add an RPG element. So I took that out. When I took that out, I really got to really focus, and I kept the story along the same, like a kind of a continuation of the last game night with that D&D story. Now these players, they gotta save the virtual world again, with a new villain, but there's a lot of plot twists and things and surprises and secret endings, blah blah blah. I was like, I want to go for that, so I went with that. I had an idea how the game was gonna start and how the game was gonna end. And it's interesting is that the game changed a lot in a story as I went through the process. Like, you have an idea, you go with limitations, or you find things that you can do. Like, hey, this is really interesting. Let me add this to the story and change, and it starts changing other things. So that was really cool that I got to experience and do. I kind of will talk a little bit more about it. I don't want to go too much detail because I kind of want to set up, several follow-up videos, maybe like based off of your guys' comments, questions, and kind of deep dive a little bit more different aspects of developing this game that I did. I'm gonna show you guys the reaction real quick. I'm gonna put it up here on the screen.
Oh! Did you make a game? Oh,
no
Snap,
way!
Made a game!
This is dope, dude.
Hell yeah, dude!
Bro!
No wonder this took 4 hours every day. I was like, damn, what the hell are you doing?
So that was the reaction, and it was honestly very fulfilling. I was kind of nervous because, like, man, I was like running through multiple tests for the game. And I was like, man, there's a lot of things broken. I fixed it last minute. I was like, I hope this thing runs well. Surprisingly, there's only a few little hiccups in terms of performance towards the end, which was kind of not surprising because it was towards the end of the game. I couldn't, spend too much time towards the end, but I had done multiple tests on that aspect of the game, so it was fine. Kind of like the afterthoughts of the game. It was honestly really an awesome experience. I definitely respect game developers a lot more. I already did it from the beginning. I love video games. You guys see my room, seen the videos in the past. And it's something I'm really into. And you can actually play the game on an actual Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. I have a cartridge with a micro SD card. You can actually play the game even on PC using RetroArch or different emulators, or even on your phone if you have an Android, you can do that. I'm not sure if I'm gonna fully release the game. It's kind of personalized towards them with like inside jokes and things that we've been friends for a very long time. I am definitely going to make a lot of updates. This is kind of I want to get into next. The game was pretty much like almost a final draft. There's a lot of things I need to change. Like I need to add a better UI system, or actually a full-on UI system. Kind of fix the flow of the game, because there's some things as a game designer I noticed. Like I had to kind of jump in and help the players, like kind of figure out and navigate what to do next. I made it where it's a lot of riddles, a lot of pay attention to a lot of conversations you have with other NPCs in the game, puzzles, like full-on puzzles where you have to like put things in certain places and figure it out, kind of like almost like Zelda-esque kind of Game Boy game. And it was pretty eye-opening to actually see the game played by someone else, because when I'm playing it, I just know exactly what to do, because in my head, boom, 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 this makes sense. When you see someone else play, it's totally different. You're like, okay, well, why'd they do that? There's a lot of decisions that they did. I'm like, well, there was a whole other half of an extra chapter you could have done, because I broke up the game into chapters for each person's character. And I'm like, well, there was like certain optional things you can do that add to the story. I'm like, well, knowing this person I was interested in didn't continue, I was like, okay, well, maybe it was my design flaw that I didn't make it clear there was more, because in the beginning it kind of sets it up. So there's things that I need to do and flesh out the game. So I'll probably spend like another month after, since they played it, and just add everything, the features, the quality of life things, and the flow, work on some of the performance things, kind of change up some of the levels a little bit for performance issues, and just go from there. I do have other projects in mind. I have 2 other projects I want to work on that I'm really excited for, that are challenging, but I think I'm going to put those on pause for a second, spend a month, and finish the game itself, because I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and they say a lot of people kind of just make a game and don't fully, you know, complete it, where like you're adding the things that people don't want to work on, like a UI system, a menu system, and everything. So I kind of want to experience that, since I already put myself in a simulation or simulated experience where I had a deadline, I had a timeline, I had like actual documentation I had to fill out, like things an organized plan, story, this and that. So it was really cool. So I kind of want to just keep this as like an intro video for like future videos I'm gonna be making in the next month, and show you guys a little bit more in depth of the process that I took, and kind of give you an idea of the game, and show you the updates that I'm planning on doing. Take you through that. So if you guys really enjoyed this video, please press like on the video, comment below your ideas, suggestions, what you want to see in the next videos, what questions you have. That way it kind of gives me an idea what direction I want to take these next few videos. I have an idea, but I kind of want to see what you guys think. If you're interested, just to be interested, or you're a new game developer, game designer like I am, or someone who's interested in doing it and you're not really sure. I really think GB Studio is a really great entry point for a lot of people who do, as someone who's a beginner. Because if you look at Unreal and Unity, it's very, very complex and daunting, and it's very overwhelming. So taking it step by step as a game designer, start simple and grow, is something that I've seen across all on these podcasts and YouTube channels. So that's the approach I'm taking their advice. But then again, guys, thank you again for watching. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next one.